obviously we're speaking a couple of weeks out from the return. It's the place last year that you had the devastating injury, and it's full circle. A year on. How has things been in the last year?
It's been a long year, mate. It's been a long year. No, it's been good. I've had a really, really good year. It's been really positive. I've changed a lot. Um, and yeah, I'm just in a really, really good spot now, mate. I'm just looking forward to getting back in there and showing everyone that the work I've done in the last kind of eight months, I guess. I guess we've been going at this thing for 8 months. It's been like a near enough an 8 month training camp. So I'm very, very happy to get in there next weekend and show everyone what's been going on.
Mm. I think something that was very interesting, I believe it was a couple of months ago, you did an interview and you said you feel like you're a completely different person from the knee break. I want to just touch on why that is and what you feel like has changed.
A lot, really, to be honest with you. It just gave me a lot of time to think, which is something that I never really had before. I realized that I had a lot of stuff in my life, in my professional life and my personal life, which it wasn't really propelling me where I want to go, which is the UFC heavyweight champion. Like I would train for a few hours a day, but then the rest of the time, so say I train for like 3-4 hours a day, the other 20 hours I wasn't really living like an athlete at all. My training was wrong. Like I was training with no guys who were nowhere near my size, and I wasn't really living like an athlete at all. I wasn't sleeping well enough. I wasn't looking after my body. There was all kinds of stuff. I was doing stuff in my personal life that I shouldn't have been doing, and I'm just happy to have changed all that now. And I don't know. I just feel like my whole mindset towards everything has changed. Like as far as if people around me aren't on board with me being the UFC heavyweight champion in the world, like they shouldn't be around me. Simple as that. And there was a lot of people who were around me who were holding me back in all kinds of different ways, and they're gone. So I feel like I'm just surrounded by positive people now who want what's best for me, and I really, really feel good with that. Really feel good with it, mate.
Mm. With the stuff that you sort of changed, was it more like you said there with sleep and that? Was it diet, sort of lifestyle and recovery? And with the people that you cut out, maybe not to name names and go into specifics, was it more so like training partners or just friends or every aspect of your life?
Basically, all of the above, all of the above. Um, yeah, just I would always just be like agreeing with stuff that I didn't really want to do, just going along with it, so no conflict was caused, both inside and outside of the gym. Like there was a lot of times that I'd turn up to training sessions, and there would be no one anywhere near my size on the mat, and like that's not really conducive to me being the UFC heavyweight champion. Like I'm not going to get the best training session in there, and like say stuff like sleep, drinking, diet, recovery, just the way that I'd structure my days was just all wrong to be being a heavyweight champion of the world. It's not conducive to where I'm trying to go. And the people who are around me, these are guys who are trying to get me to go and party and trying to get me to go and do stuff that benefits them. And it's not right, mate. It's not what I should have been doing at all. I should have been, but it's hard to cut that out when you're winning. Do you know what I mean? When everything's going your way, it's hard to just turn around and say, you know what, I'm actually going to change everything now. Everyone's going to be like, well, you can't change everything because it's working for you. And, I had a massive injury. I had a big loss. I had a massive embarrassment in front of everybody. And I've changed everything. And I feel so much better, mate. I feel so much better mentally and physically. Like, I just can't wait to get in there and just show everybody, like, this is what I'm really like.
Mm-hmm. Sort of unrelated, but related in the same ways. I know this probably doesn't tie into your situation, but it's like John Jones used to say a week before every fight, he would go out there and get absolutely leathered and he'd still go and perform the way he did. And but with you and your situation, is it almost quite it's almost a good thing the fact that you had all these distractions and you still managed to break into the top guys at heavyweight. So with this sort of new version of yourself, I'm guessing how good can you really be if look, you broke into the top while doing all this stuff, now you've eliminated it, right?
Yeah, definitely. And not only that, I was literally doing it all with one leg, literally with one leg. So that's why I feel so confident in that moving forward, is because I know, and the close people around me, like my dad and my family and stuff, know that I was doing a lot of wrong stuff before, a lot. And I was doing a lot of wrong stuff with one leg and still winning. So um, I feel very, very confident and happy moving forward. And I feel like we're really going to see how good I really can be now. Definitely.
Speaking of training partners, one who's a good friend of yours is making a debut on the card is Mick Parker. And I know I think you've been heavily involved in your camp. What can the London fans expect to see from Mick on the night?
That's correct. Mick is very good. Mick's very good. He's a young heavyweight. I think he's 27. He's pretty young in his career. I think he's 6 or 7-0. Quite untested at this stage, as I was when I got in the UFC. So we'll just see, we'll see how it goes for him. You know, he's got all the skills in the world. The guy's very good. But as I keep telling him, and I keep telling everybody, like fighting in the UFC is a different feeling to fighting in these local shows. But Mick's been on the Contender Series as well, which is something that I didn't experience, and you know, so he's felt what it's like to go. You know, when all the big dogs are there watching, you got all the cameras on you and stuff. So he has experienced it to a degree. So and he performed really well on that. So I've got no doubt that Mick's going to go in there next weekend and he's going to take care of it. He actually has a tough opponent. His opponent's pretty good from what I've seen. So I think Mick's going to do the job though. Mick's a good guy and he knows what he's doing. He's really good.
And again, speaking of Mick's fight, I believe when you made your UFC debut, it was obviously COVID times. I believe it was Abu Dhabi, Fight Island, behind closed doors sort of thing. He's got his first fight on the big stage in the O2. So given you fought there a couple of times now, it's quite like the bright lights in his first fight is probably even more pressure for Mick, right?
Definitely. It all just depends, mate, how Mick reacts when he starts. When things don't start going his way and there's all them people watching and there's all that pressure on you, how does Mick, what's Mick all about? We know he's really good in the gym. We know he's got all the skills. We just don't know what he's got mentally at this point. But saying that, mate, I had no idea. No one had any idea what I had mentally either. And the same goes for loads of other guys who've been in the UFC. There's loads of kind of untested people who've got in the UFC and done really, really well. So I definitely have faith that Mick can do the same.
And kind of in recent weeks, the heavyweight division sort of moving on a bit in the fact that we've got 2 big fights announced. We had Cyril Gane and a former opponent of yours and Sergey Spivak, and now we've got the sort of fight everyone expected in Jones and Miocic. What's your sort of thoughts on those 2 fights, starting with again the former opponent of yours, Sergey, against Cyril?
I think it's a tough fight for Cyril, mate. I think Sergey's really good. You know, I think he's really good. I knew he was good before I fought him as well. And I think he's won every fight since I beat him. If I'm right in that, I'm not sure though. I think he has. But Cyril definitely got a tricky style. I wouldn't be surprised either way. I don't know who's going to win that one. The same with the heavyweight title. I don't know who's going to win. Not sure. I've absolutely no idea. This is like heavyweight MMA at the highest level. Whoever makes the best decisions within that 25 minutes is going to win, and that's the way it goes sometimes at this level.
And yeah, you're right in saying that. Again, Sergey, I believe, since you beat him, has gone on to be what the likes of, I think he had Greg Hardy, and his most recent one was Derek Lewis. So he sort of makes your win even more impressive, right? He's gone unbeaten since you beat him. He kind of looks like a new fighter since you fought him.
Yeah, quite a few have done that, you know. Look at Volkov as well. Volkov's got a couple of good knockout wins. He knocked out Rosenstruck and then he knocked out Romanov as well since I fought him. And yeah, these guys are looking good. I make them look not very good, but that's not the way. You know, they're the best ones for me though. When I know that people are good, and then people are like, they're not. They think that my opponents are not very good, just because I've made them look not very good. That's the ultimate compliment to me. That's the ultimate compliment.
And touching on the heavyweight title fight, are you expecting this is going to be John Jones's last dance? I know there's sort of a bit of fresh blood at heavyweight, but this seems like, you know, the one in him and Stipe has been discussed for years. It sort of seems like he's going to ride off into the sunset if things go his way in this one. What do you sort of expect?
I mean, it seems that way, but I don't know John. I don't know him personally, so I have no idea. I would love for him to stick around, and I'll fight him one day. Like that's my absolute dream fight. But whether it's going to happen or not, who knows? But that's what I want. That's what I want. But I'm sure what I want is pretty relevant to him at this stage. So we'll see. We'll see, mate. We'll see how it all goes. He can leave or join whenever he wants. The guy's done everything in the sport, so we'll see.
Another big one announced. I think a lot of people sort of maybe didn't expect this because of the way heavyweight is in boxing is former sort of training partner and someone who you're quite close to their family. In Tyson, he's fighting Francis Ngannou. Again, it's under boxing rules, so I'm sure a lot of people are sort of predicting how this one's going to go. Do you sort of see any surprises in this one, or do you think it's going to be the sort of most expected outcome?
If you stick Francis Ngannou in a boxing ring or a cage with anybody and tell him to punch the other guy, he always has a chance of winning. Like that's like you can't dispute that. He's definitely always got a chance of winning. But as far as skill level, Tyson will absolutely school him. Like Tyson is worlds apart, mate, from his level. I actually spoke to Tyson today. He actually run me this morning, and he needs some help with his training and stuff. So that might be something that we might have a little link up after my fight, and we might explore that a little bit. We'll see.
I believe you helped him out in the past. Now, was it for the Klitschko fight, or have you helped him in sort of previous camps?
Yeah, I've helped him for a couple of camps before. Yeah, that's right. We'll see. We'll see how it all goes. We'll see what happens.
I think a big thing that people touch on with MMA fighters is I remember when Conor fought Floyd, they feel like the boxing MMA they make these things called MMA angles. So is it sort of a different, maybe Tyson wants you because Francis has probably got a bit of a different style than he's faced in the past, right?
Yeah, a lot of boxers are really similar. Like when I spar boxers, I give them a more issues sometimes than other boxers would because I do things a little bit different than a usual boxer would. But it's different, mate. There's punching involved in our sport, but it's definitely not boxing. It's way different. Like over the course of 12 rounds, it's a tough task, mate, for Ngannou to win that fight over 12 rounds unless he catches him early.
And finally, the last one, I know another member of Fury family. I'm not sure how. I feel like you're not that caught up on the YouTube boxing scene like these youngsters are, but looks like Tommy Fury is going to be fighting KSI. He's already taken out one YouTuber in Jake Paul. I'm guessing you think he's going to take out a second in KSI.
I didn't know that, to be honest. I didn't know that. I've actually done a couple of stuff with KSI, like media stuff, and I've never seen him box, so I can't comment on that. But I like him as a person. He seems like a very nice guy. I like him a lot as a person. Obviously, I've seen Tommy box a lot. I've sparred a lot with Tommy. Tommy's legit. Tommy's legit, mate. Tommy's a legit boxer. As far as KSI, like I say, I know him personally. As far as his boxing ability, I know nothing about it, so I can't really comment on it. I know that Tommy's a legit boxer, so if KSI wants to beat him, he's going to have to be legit himself. Is he legit? To my knowledge, I have no idea, so I don't really know.